All right, welcome to the architecture of scale. Let me just ask you something. Are you tired of every tiny UI tweak needing a full, high-stakes redeploy? Do you feel like your technology is literally holding you back from innovating and growing? Well, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. We're going to talk about how to break free from those old systems and engineer a foundation that's actually ready for what's next. So, let's get into it. Yeah? Does this sound familiar? This quote just gets right to the heart of the frustration, doesn't it? It's that sinking feeling you get when you realize your tech is no longer an enabler. It's a roadblock. It's the friction that just grinds innovation to a halt. It feels like you've hit the limits of your architecture, and you know it's time for a change. So what's the source of all this pain? Well, it's something called the monolithic constraint. See, for years, platforms were built as these big all-in-one solutions, where the front end that the customer sees and the back end that runs the business are just fused together. And yeah, that sounds simple at first, but eventually it becomes a massive bottleneck. Why? Because you can't change one little thing without risking everything else. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. This chart lays out the trade-offs so clearly. So just look at that first row, deployment. With a monolith, your front and back ends deployed together. That means a tiny UI change could force a full system regression test. But in a headless world, they deploy independently, which just drastically cuts down on risk and time. Now look at tech stack choice. A monolith basically tells you what to use. Headless says, hey, it's your call. And this isn't just about freedom for developers. It's about using the absolute best tool for the job to create the best experience, and this is crucial to support a real omnichannel strategy without having to rebuild everything for every new channel. So if the monolith is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's a whole new way of thinking, a new architectural blueprint, and it's called headless commerce. The whole concept is right there on the screen. Headless commerce is all about decoupling. So what does that really mean? It means we're strategically separating the part of your platform the customer sees and touches, we call that the head, from all the back-end logic and data that runs the business, the body. They're no longer one single tangled up thing. And to make this really click, let's use a simple analogy. Think of your back-end commerce platform as the brain. It's the central nervous system of your business, right? It's handling all the critical stuff: inventory, pricing, customer data, orders. It is the single source of truth. The front end, the head, is more like the body. It's how customers actually see and interact with you, whether that's on a website, a mobile app, or maybe even an in-store kiosk. So this is the old world, a single solid block. The brain and body are completely fused together. You can't update one without messing with the other, and that's why innovation gets stifled. You're just stuck in this rigid, inflexible system. And now, look at the new blueprint. We've literally separated the head from the body. The head can now evolve as fast as your customer expectations change, while the body, the brain, can focus on being stable and scalable. They're independent, but they're still connected. So how are they connected? That brings us to the magic that makes this whole thing possible. I mean, if the brain and the body are separate, how in the world do they talk to each other? Well, this is where we engineer the nervous system of our new digital ecosystem. That nervous system is built with APIs, application programming interfaces. Just think of an API as a standardized messenger service. It's basically a set of rules that lets different software talk to each other. So when a customer clicks add to cart on the website, that's the head. The head doesn't have the cart logic itself. Instead, it sends a message, an API request, like you see here, over to the back-end brain. The brain does the heavy lifting and sends a confirmation back. It's this clean, standardized language that lets the entire architecture work together perfectly. So the big takeaway here is that a modern ecosystem is way more than just two parts. It's a series of distinct, specialized layers. You've got your core commerce engine, the API layer acting as the connection, all your different front-end clients, or heads, and then all your supporting services, like your CMS, your PIM, and they're all communicating through that same API nervous system. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the how. Now let's get to the why. I mean, why go through all this trouble to engineer a system like this? The answer is actually pretty simple. It's to unlock the single most important strategy for enterprise growth today, which is true omnichannel scale. And this is where the potential just explodes. With a headless architecture, you have one single backend, one brain, that can power an entire universe of customer experiences. A website, a native mobile app, an in-store kiosk. You could even have an Alexa skill for voice commerce or a buy button on a smart fridge. Each one is a unique head, totally tailored for its purpose, but all of them are powered by that same central brain. So why does this matter so much to the business? Because the data is crystal clear. Omnichannel customers have a 30% higher lifetime value. 30%! This architecture is the engine that's designed specifically to go out and get those high-value customers. And I mean, who doesn't want more of those? But it's not just about value, it's also about speed. This chart shows that businesses that go headless see about a 50% reduction in the time it takes to launch new digital experiences. Think about that. That is a massive agility dividend. It's the strategic advantage that lets you outmaneuver and out-innovate your competition. The real question is, can you afford not to have that advantage? And this all brings us to our final and maybe most critical point. This choice between monolith and headless, it's not just a technical decision. It's a foundational business strategy. It's about choosing to build for growth instead of being limited by the architecture of the past. Now, let's be totally clear, headless isn't a silver bullet for everybody. As you can see here, a monolith can still be a great fit if you're, say, a simple store, tight budget, you just need to launch something fast. But if your business needs complex B2B functionality, or a true omni-channel presence, or a totally unique user experience that sets your brand apart, well, then headless architecture becomes a strategic necessity. So, which one are you? And look, the strategic payoff is immense. You get the freedom to create any experience you can possibly dream up. You get to market way faster with new features, leaving competitors in the dust. You get superior performance, faster speeds, which we all know means more conversions and happier customers. And maybe most importantly, you are future-proofing your business. When the next big thing comes along, AI, AR, voice, whatever it is, you'll be ready to embrace it, not scrambling to catch up. So we'll just end with this one question for you to take back to your teams. I want you to really look at your own systems, your processes, your ambitions for the next 5 years. Is your current architecture a launching pad for your future, or is it an anchor, just holding you back?